Well, the ideas seem to come from maybe from the unconscious or from a dream, and then there's a conjoining with something in the real world, something I may have heard of, or it could be a personal experience of my own. When I wrote A Widow's Story, a book very different from any other book I had written, it was basically taken from my journal. So I didn't write it in that sense of being very polished and coolly coordinated. It wasn't like that at all. It was taken from handwritten journals that were written each night. When I couldn't sleep, I would lie in bed and write in this journal. So I had amassed a lot of writing from about a year when I couldn't write fiction. So I took that and transcribed it and made it into a book, but it wasn't a book of the kind I had ever written before. So I think sometimes in our lives when something catastrophic and unique happens, it's overwhelming, you don't have time to do that careful writing. But then at other times when we're more tranquil, we may say, I'll spend 6 months planning a novel and doing research and going to the library and doing online and amassing a lot of notes and organizing it and having an outline. And that kind of writing can be very placid and very satisfying also. So I'd say the two kinds of writing. One is very passionate and impulsive, and it can be extremely emotional. Then the other writing is more cool and maybe classical and more carefully shaped. And both kinds of writing are very satisfying. The second kind of writing is the more usual. And the first kind of writing is more, it relates to trauma in one's life. Well, only the Widow's Story fits into the first category. Then I have a journal that was published in the United States, but I don't think it was translated. It's quite a long book, some journals of about 20 years. So the one rule of my journal is I never revise it. I don't allow myself to go back to fix it or to cross anything out, because that would not be honest. So the journal is a daily life, uncensored. But then the writing can be very revised, and I cross everything out and start and write it all over again. When I wrote The Accursed for the second time, everything was changed. I changed every sentence. So the revision was a complete rewriting. But what's nice about being an artist is that I don't think anybody really cares about the process. They only care about the final work. If the work of art is striking and original in itself, nobody really cares about the stages that went into it. Well, writing fiction demands being able to concentrate. And when you've had a loss in your life, you get very tired. And basically you're in some state of mental fragmentation, so that you can start off, I remember walking in one room of the house to get something, but then when you get there you forgot what you wanted. And then you decide, well, you have to do something else, and then you realize that you left the door open, or you forgot this, and it's somehow, everything's fragmented because there seems to be no meaning in life. You're just sort of getting through one minute after another. It's very different from a healthy, normal feeling. In a normal human being, you have a whole sense of a day and a meaningful day with other people. But when you're literally all alone, the day breaks up into all these fragments. So it's a somewhat abnormal state.